All right, here we go. Welcome into Philadelphia 76ers Now. Chase Sr. here with you, and we're coming to you because we have some breaking news. Daryl Morey making a sneaky good signing and signing veteran Montrezl Harrell to a deal. Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN, breaking the news just moments ago here on Tuesday afternoon. And it's about time that we had an actual news item to talk about here on the show, and here it is. And this is something that we chopped up and talked about last week right here on the channel, about the Sixers' potential interest in Montrezl Harrell because of some of the connections that he has with some of the players on this roster, the coaching staff, as well as Daryl Morey himself. So Woj saying this, according to ESPN sources, Montrezl Harrell signing a 2-year deal with the Philadelphia 76ers that does include a player option. And what does he bring to the table? More toughness to a team searching for that throughout this entire offseason. He was the 6th man of the year with Doc Rivers and Sam Cassell back in 2019 and 2020, but also played with James Harden several years ago at the Houston Rockets when Daryl Morey was still the general manager there. Now, throughout this offseason, Montrezl Harrell and his status for this upcoming season was a little bit in question to a certain degree. I always thought that at some point and at some juncture, the legal situation was going to get kind of worked out and situated, and it has. Wojnarowski with this as well, that he had those charges of marijuana trafficking reduced to a misdemeanor possession in Madison County, Kentucky. That happened recently. That's something that we talked about on the show last week, and the charge will be expunged from his record after 12 months if Harrell gets in no further legal trouble. So that's good for him because obviously he's going to be able to join this basketball team and figures to be a pretty important member of this front court and is not too far removed from winning the 6th Man of the Year award only back in that 2019-2020 campaign. Now, since that, been a little bit rocky for Montrezl Harrell in terms of him solidifying a role on a really good team, and the numbers have certainly gone up and down, and he hasn't really duplicated that success. But last year with the Washington Wizards, and then with the Charlotte Hornets, pretty solid player, right? 13 points per game, 6 rebounds, about a half block per night, and connected on about 64.5% of his field goals. And the much-needed toughness is certainly something that's of note here because that is something that Joel Embiid admitted to the Sixers lacking after they got ousted by the Miami Heat, and that's something that this front office has really prioritized throughout this offseason. It's Montrezl Harrell, PJ Tucker, DeAnthony Melton. We also those pictures of the fake pit bull inside the X-ray body. That's what some of these guys bring to the table, and that's what the Sixers have been missing the last couple of years. Mental toughness, mental fortitude when the going gets tough, and that's why it's good that Ben Simmons is no longer a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. Still a lot left to get to and break down and dissect on the show. First, though, do want to hear from you in the comment section right now, the faithful Sixers fans. Let us know what you think of the Harrell signing and grade it A, B, C, D, or F. And this is why you subscribe to Philadelphia 76ers Now. No joke, this news broken just moments ago by Adrian Wojnarowski, and what do you know? We're breaking it down here on the channel, youtube.com/76erstv. You can count on us when breaking news happens to give you the best and most thoughtful coverage and analysis out there on YouTube. And then just going back to Montrezl Harrell and some of the things that he brings. Coop, if that graphic's not ready, at least show it up in preview so that I can at least talk about it. What Harrell brings to the table, there's some good, there's certainly some bad, endless energy and activity. He can be a backup big coming in off the bench. If you want to go small ball, he can play 5, but he's probably better playing that 4 spot. You can play him with Joel Embiid. You can play him without Joel Embiid. Montrezl Harrell at the 5 with PJ Tucker at the 4. It makes up for some of Harrell's defensive deficiencies, I guess you could say, but he is a really good rebounder for a knack for making those types of plays off the glass. Not a great defender by any means, and offensively, you can't really count on him or expect him to stretch the floor by any means, right? He's not going to knock down 3-pointers. He doesn't really have a mid-range jump shot. He's really not all that trustworthy from the free throw line either, but he certainly gets classified in that dog mentality with what he is able to bring to this lineup, and it does give Philadelphia some lineup versatility here. And that's something that I think they have more so of this year as compared to last year, when things kind of got predictable at some points with that Sixers team last year. They lacked those tough guys. They lack some of those dogs, but also with that bench unit, you didn't really have a lot of confidence in that second string unit to come in after the starters exited the game to really at least keep your head above water. I mean, a lot of times they would go through these lulls offensively and defensively. You were just looking for somebody to make a play. And for a guy like Shake Milton, I think this might make him better as one of the primary creators on that second unit, because he can play on ball with the Anthony Melton. He can play off ball with the Anthony Melton. And then you can kind of mix and match what you have on that second team unit. If you want to throw Matisse Thybulle out there, that's fine. You want to play PJ Tucker. You want to play Montrezl Harrell. You have the active and very long Paul Reed as well. And then maybe Charles Bassey can crack this rotation. So the Sixers team really from top to bottom is a lot deeper, frankly, more talented. Most importantly, though, we continue to go back to that word, a lot tougher than that unit last year and in years prior when they had to face adversity throughout the playoffs. You just didn't have a lot of confidence in Philadelphia to really rise up to the occasion when the game was in the guts of it to play clutch basketball, and that's what depth allows you to do. And then just for Montrezl Harrell as an individual player, this is a sneaky good signing for Philadelphia. I imagine because they're over the cap, deep in that luxury tax, that this 2-year deal with that player option on the back end isn't going to really cost all that much money for a player who, let's hope, can give the Sixers 13 points, 7 to 8 rebounds per game. I mean, he was doing this with Washington and Charlotte. There's no way he can't duplicate these numbers on your screen here with an even better supporting cast around him, with a guy like Joel Embiid, who's finished runner-up in the MVP race back-to-back years behind the Joker. James Harden looking a little bit slimmer. I expect Tyrese Maxey to take that next step, and this makes me excited about Philadelphia. I mean, it's been a little while since we had something of note, of significance, of substance to actually talk about. This is certainly one of those acquisitions that makes you excited about the Sixers' depth. And with training camp and with media day coming up at the end of the month, it's going to be pretty awesome to hear from PJ Tucker, hear from Daniel House, hear from DeAnthony Melton, hear from Trevelin Queen, now Montrezl Harrell, but also from Doc Rivers with a player who he has familiarity with, and then from Daryl Morey as well on why he decided to bring him in. And of course, I'm interested to see what the contract numbers are as well. So before we hop on out of here, want to hear from you once again. Grade the signing of Montrezl Harrell, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe, because when breaking news happens, this right here is the standard.